The history of the Legion of Lumeria begins with the end of the Damocles Crusade. At the end of the crusade, the Imperium called for a full retreat, leaving many Imperial troops behind and at the mercy of the Tau. A full company of the famed Handelen Rangers was amongst those who were left behind. Seeing this abandonment as a form of punishment, the company swore to correct their mistakes, although in truth there were no mistakes to absolve. And with the help of other Imperial troops, they fled the system aboard a commandeered Tau vessel. Upon reaching their new homeworld of Handola, they re-established contact with the remnants of their regiment and formally requested to end their duties with the regiment. General Kaiser of the Handelen Rangers Regiment accepted their request out of guilt for abandoning them and disbanded the company, leaving the members of the company to their own endeavours. The company was given a single lunar-class cruiser, a navigator and an astropath, parting gifts on behalf of the Imperial Navy Detachment tasked with escorting the Handelen Regiment. Upon receiving the cruiser, which became known as the Sword of Exile, and the two other gifts, the company made their way towards the furthest reaches of the Segmentum Pacificus. Eventually, the company settled on a lone, barren, hostile world called Lumeria. Lumeria was a harsh world with an average temperature of 115 degrees Fahrenheit, with the southern hemisphere averaging -13 degrees Fahrenheit. Its surface was littered with massive towering volcanic rock spires, which seemingly pierced the sky, along with a small ocean as black as the void of space itself, home to monstrous creatures which stalked the depths. Towering volcanoes littered the landscape, constantly blasting molten rock onto the surface. The equatorial region of Lumeria is home to a vast flat landscape of salt and limestone. This landscape became known as the Great Divide, because it separated the southern hemisphere of the planet from the northern. Lumeria was also home to hordes of roaming feral tribes of fellow humans, who were eventually the first recruits for the company, which later became known as the Legion of Lumeria. The Legion's purpose was to serve the Imperium as a crusading force, laying waste to the various foes of the Emperor for the rest of time. The Legion as a whole is commanded by the High Commander, who has absolute authority over the Legion and may perform any role he desires, ranging from diplomatic representative to squad leader. A new High Commander is instated every 10 years, with votes being accepted from every member of the Legion, no matter how inexperienced. From Barracks Custodian to High Marshal, all votes carry an equal value. If an aspiring Legionnaire, regardless of rank, wishes to become High Commander, he or she must possess the following: a long and reputable service record, a strong moral compass, strong and unyielding character, and an undying will to serve the Emperor and the Legion. The High Marshals, second only to the High Commander, are charged with commanding their own individual companies in battle, as well as handling any and all diplomatic and political issues on behalf of the Legion. High Lieutenants are charged with commanding their own individual platoons, as well as maintaining the administrative aspects of the Legion. Finally, the squad leaders are, as name suggests, tasked with leading their own individual squads into battle. The Legion not only recruits from the feral tribes of Lumeria, but accepts any aspirant from across the Imperium. Aspirants who have committed sins in the past, ranging from insubordination to even full-on betrayal, any man or woman who wishes to absolve their sins may join the Legion, so long as they aren't tainted by the ruinous powers. The aspirants, as recruitments are called, may change the name and may even forego a name altogether, instead being referred to by a number or a nickname. Aspirants must undergo a series of intense and scrupulous tests, from physical to mental analysis. The aspirants then begin the training regimen after they completed and passed all exams, and then transported to the plateaus of Lumeria's southern hemisphere, where they begin the 6-month-long training regimen. Aspirants go through 3 phases of training: the inductment phase, where aspirants learn the history of the Legion and the daily routines of the Legion at the Black Fortress; the indoctrination phase, the aspirants are forced to march for weeks on end across the expanse of the Great Divide. Many aspirants die or attempt to flee and defect. Any aspirant who flees or attempts to are punished severely, either by whip or by hard grueling labour. The aspirants who do not flee and are still alive then learn of the various songs and hymns of the Legion, singing in unison for days on end. The aspirants are also broken down mentally by chanting the songs and hymns, and by brutal punishments and exercises only to be brought back up by the 3rd phase. The final phase, the aspirants are taught to fight in sync with each other, and also instructed the basics of teamwork and perseverance. The aspirants are also taught advanced hand-to-hand combat techniques, as well as advanced tactics which may be employed to fight nearly any foe. They are also taught to employ medical assistance to any Legionnaire, therefore making every Legionnaire a medic in their own right. The combat method employed by the Legion varies, but with one constant. The Legion is classed as a light regiment, and therefore employs light vehicles such as Sentinels, Tauros, Tauroks, and Chimeras. The Legion is to be kept at strength of 1 million. The reason being is that this low number, in comparison with other regiments, is meant to instill a feeling of honour and sense of self-worth in the Legionnaires. Upon graduating the training regiment, aspirants received the famed Black Cap of the Legion, and allowed the day to relax and reflect. Ale and other alcoholic beverages are served fruitfully. Imported foods, which are far better than Legion rations, are also served. The graduation parade is also staged the following day, with aspirants dressed in parade fatigues marching down the centre street of the Black Fortress, with the famed Legion military band playing the Legion's main hymn as the aspirants march. The purpose for the march is to display the aspirants' honour and dignity to the command and hierarchy, to essentially tell the command that we are just as capable as you. The Black Fortress is the Legion headquarters, home to the High Marshals and High Commander, as well as administratum personnel. With obsidian walls stretching for miles and tall towers of black stone standing in the centre, the Black Fortress truly lives up to its name.